Anna Grace Asio was born blind, but this has never been an excuse for her. She has risen above this disability to achieve milestones for herself and others. Today, we share the story of the unstoppable wife, a hands-on mother of two, disability advocate and a lawyer.
My name is Asio Anna Grace. I am visually impaired and I was born totally blind. I am a mother of two and two boys, and currently I am working with Integrated Disabled Women Activities Uganda, where I am the project officer for the project that is called Gender. The project is called Mainstreaming Gender, Disability, Environment and Climate Change Nexus.
Asio can do it all on her own. It would take a stranger days to believe that she does not have sight. When Asio's mother was pregnant, it did not occur to her that she would give birth to a blind child. It was a peaceful pregnancy and birth. It was until she was 3 months old that her parents realized she couldn't see. Several procedures were done to correct her sight, but none was successful.
I was born on the 1st of December 1991 in Palisa district. I am born to a family of 6. We are 4 girls and 2 boys. Yes, so when I was born totally blind with 0 sight. So how my mother discovered is that at about the age of 3 months, she saw like I was not responding. My eyes were like I was not doing any movements with my eyes. I was not following insects. I was not following the movement of the hand. So she was concerned. Then she went to hospital where I was actually examined and confirmed that I was blind. So at about the age of 5 months, I was operated on both eyes in Ginger Hospital, where I recovered some little vision. So right now I can see, but I can see nearby objects. And then I can see light, I can see colors, movement of objects, yes. But other than that, when I joined school, I was still operated in Ongino, but even that did not rectify. So the most recent operation that I had was in 2014 at Ruharo Eye Hospital in Imbarara. When after that operation, still much did not change. So I just concluded that this is how I have to live. Actually, for me, my growing up was such an interesting one. It was interesting in such a way that I had the opportunity to play like any other child, to learn work like house chores like any other child. My family embraced me well. I think because I was born by enlightened parents who are both teachers, but my dad has now retired. Yes. So I think they knew what to do and also guided by God. But also the community around, I think basing on what they saw, what my family did to me, I've never really actually gone through discrimination by the family members or abuses. Though, as you know, children communicate differently. So there would be those moments whereby a child just looks at me and my eyes are a bit different from the rest. So, and because they don't know how to communicate well, they say it out in their own language.
Asio is the second of the 6 children born to Patrick Omadagang and Mary Asire, both retired primary school teachers. Of the 6 children, 4 are girls and the 2 of them have disabilities. Asio has congenital glaucoma, a condition caused by incorrect development of the eye's drainage system before birth. And her young sister, Josephine Kayango, has physical disabilities.
I meant actually children like around the community, around home. And for that, because even me by then I was young, so I didn't know how to respond. But you know, sometimes you get angry and cry and get over it. As children, in the next minute, we are again playing together.
Her parents, upon learning about her condition, were devastated, but they never gave up on their daughter. Asio says that as the years went by, her mother accepted her fate and decided to raise her as other children. So she grew up doing everything her siblings did. She would sweep and mop the house, cook for the family, fetch water and do laundry. The only activity she failed to master was digging.
So when it came back to my siblings, still it was unequal ground for all of us. We did everything together. Whatever they did, I also did. Like, my parents always ensured that I participated in every other activity like the rest. Take an example for the house chores. We always had a rota. We know that today it is so and so cooking. When that one is cooking, the other one is washing plates, the other one is mopping the house. So I would also find myself participating in all those activities. However, when it came to garden work, myself, it was challenging for me. My mom tried, she says, she tried to take me to the garden, but I would end up instead digging the crops instead of the weeds. So she realized that garden work would be a bit hard for me. So what she did, whenever the rest went to the garden, me, I stayed home and I would do all the house chores. They would find breakfast ready, the house is clean, the plates are washed, the compound is clean, and I would now be preparing lunch. So it was an equal ground for me.
Asio started school when she was 6 years old, but she almost dropped out owing to stigma. In fact, her first day at school was distressing. She says the head teacher wondered why her mother would waste money on the blind child. This hit her mother hard, but she remained hopeful.
But for school life, while at school, life was okay for me because I went to a special school, that is Madera School for the Blind, which had only blind children. So like all of us were the same, only that the degree mattered. Like we had those with zero sight, those with some little vision, those with some good vision, like that. So, but at school we did everything together, and in that school we didn't have like workers like who would do for us activities like sweeping compound, doing what. So we would do that ourselves, and it was after growing up that I actually realized it was a good thing, because I remember what we used to do for sweeping the compound. We would gather, all of us, they take us to a place with the dirt, with a littered place. So they tell you bend, then all of you bend and you begin picking as you move ahead. So at the end of the day, we found the place clean. So like even at school, I didn't really face any much discrimination from children.
While reminiscing about her life at campus, Asio's face beams with a wild smile. Asio took leadership. She was chairperson for students with disabilities, and she would later represent them on the Students' Guild. She also served with the Bible Society of Uganda and visited different churches in Kampala.
Actually, after Senior 6, I performed very well and qualified for national government scholarship, national merit. However, I had to cross to the disability, to affirmative action, because affirmative action was catering for a lot more other support that I needed. So I joined the university, Makerere University, in 2012. And while there, still the government really supported us because they would pay for the services of a personal assistant. Like I had someone to always help me wherever I cannot. And for me, my disability is visual. So in most cases, the support I need is reading out for me what is in print. At Makerere, I did law, bachelor's degree of laws. Yes. How I qualified, I performed very well. I had 21 aggregates. Then it was 21. Yes, I had 21, but also I had a passion of becoming, actually I would like to become a judicial officer because I see a lot of injustices going on to the people with disabilities, but also those that do not have any disability on them.
Meanwhile, at Asio's workplace, she is known to be brilliant, hardworking, proactive, and resilient ventures that have catapulted her to where she is. She is not in the league of persons with disabilities who sit and wallow in self-pity or those on the streets begging for survival. She is always on her feet, crisscrossing the eastern region with supporting vulnerable people, especially women and girls with disabilities.
Unlock. Device unlock. So this is a phone with an assistive device within it. But for work, I use a laptop. It's an ordinary laptop, but it has a program installed in it. The program is called JAWS. So JAWS is also a screen reader. It reads for me whatever appears on the screen. So with JAWS, I am able to navigate through my laptop, go to the desktop, go to where I save my documents, then still that JAWS is able to read for me my documents. I can instruct it to read the entire document, I can instruct it to read a sentence per sentence. So at work, I use the JAWS. And at work, I use earphones, headphones, earphones, yes. Because the laptop talks, so I keep wearing that in my ears such that I don't distract others. Then I also realize when I go for these external meetings, I always move with my laptop and the headphones because that is my assistive device that helps me to perform at the same level with others. So I realized I always have to introduce myself, but also inform the meeting that I am using this, wearing this earphone for this purpose. Because there was a meeting that I attended, and at the end of the meeting, I was surprised to hear that some of the participants thought I kept listening to music all throughout the meeting. But it's just because they were not aware, and I also didn't inform them.
Her life journey has been rosy but also not dreadful compared to what many persons with disabilities go through, and she owes her drive to so many factors.
So I really feel I want to dispense justice to, especially to people with disabilities. So that was my major passion for the course. What inspired me mainly, what I remember, there is a girl that I studied with. This girl I joined this school, Bishop Willis Demonstration School, and I found her there. But when I found her, like for her hands were always here. She was not free. Then when we interacted with her, she was like her parents always kept her indoors, especially when visitors would be around. Like they would not allow her to come out. They did not want anyone to know that they have someone. She also had a visual impairment, but for her she had zero sight. Yes, so she told us that. Then she also told us some not good stories, that even her own relatives would use her sexually, would take advantage of her and just use her sexually. Not only her relatives, but also other non-relatives, they can say. So such things kept ringing in my ears. And then also secondly, the injustice that my own mother faced, just because she's a woman, and then she gave birth to the first 4 of us are girls, and then the 2 of us have disabilities, as you can see me and my sister, whom I'm always moving with, who has a physical disability. And hers, how it came about, because she crawled into a sigiri, and then the community around was like my mother was negligent and what, they threw all kinds of insults to her, yet actually she was not around. She was at school, and then that's when that happened. So all that like kept ringing in my ears and what. So I thought about it and think, these men who just sexually abuse these girls, like I wish I could have a way of dispensing justice to them.
Despite the darkness, Asio has illuminated the path for others, proving that vision is not just about sight, but about courage, resilience, and determination. Her story is a testament to the fact that disability is not inability, it's just a different ability. New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream new vision.